Hey guys, it's Bearded Sage. I know it's been a while. It's been quite some time. My account has had its little flag copyright thingy lifted, so there's no copyright infringements on this account anymore. So I'll probably be coming back and doing a little bit of recording for it once again. This is a new game called War Z, which I'm going to be jumping into. Now, I recorded earlier with my voice, just my regular voice, while I was playing, so it was live. Right now, it's not. Uh, that is just because I had changed my microphone. One second, let me turn this fan off. This thing is loud as piss. There we go. So, anyway, I turned my microphone off for another something that I was doing that I was recording, and I didn't want to record my microphone. I just wanted to record whatever was going on the screen, which was silly, honestly, because after I rendered the video, all I would have had to do is just disable my microphone. But that's besides the point. I turned it off and I forgot to turn it back on. So now I'm talking over while I'm watching the video that you guys are watching at the same time. Now I've picked a new character. I have several characters that I played. I played a lot on this game. I've had a lot of fun with it. I decided this time to start a brand new character, basically show you guys how to survive and talk a little bit about the game, which I may be jumping around here and there a little bit, because again, this is like post-production audio, which I don't like to do. Typically I like to do in-game audio, like first impression kind of thing. You can see my map right there. I'm talking about this section. The section to the left, the little section right there, was unnamed, and it was brand new section, which I haven't explored. I've never went in there because it was new. There's like a lot of people with a lot of gear that go there, and they murder everybody. So I just said, forget it. I ain't dealing with it. And you spawn in random locations throughout the entire world. You can spawn like anywhere, basically, that you can see. The little areas circled in red are safe zones, which you can't attack there, or you can't be attacked or attack when you're in that area. There are also access to your global inventory, so when you log a character out in that safe zone, you can access a global inventory, which allows you to like change stuff out. Now, as you can see, new characters start with nothing. Beforehand, they started with a flashlight and some basic supplies. Now I'm checking to see how many people are in the server. It's relatively low. Like, the cap right now, I think, is 40 people per server. They changed it to where if you have empty hands, this is the most recent update, you can still aim, so you can zoom in a little bit. If you don't have anything, like no weapons at all, you can still zoom in a little bit to look at stuff, look for stuff. So, the first thing that I need to do, based on where I spawn outside of this town, a medium-sized town called Mountain Crest. It's like the largest town in the southern section. First thing that you need to do in this game is you need to find yourself a melee weapon. Now, finding a melee weapon can prove difficult, because there are there's not a place that's going to guaranteedly give you a melee weapon. You're not always going to have one. So you can't like go to the supermarket and always find a hammer. I don't think there's hardware stores. I've never seen one. You can't always go to the police station and find a gun. There's a higher chance of finding guns in police stations. That's true. But again, it's not 100% guaranteed. That is a zombie down there. He's chilling. So everything's random. You have to run around and find stuff on your own. Kind of like DayZ. And this game is going to be compared to DayZ a lot, because DayZ came out first. Like, it was playable before everything else. DayZ's a mod for Arma 2, though. This game is not. This game was created using the War Inc. engine. The engine's not the best. I mean, like, it's not the best engine in the world, but I mean, it's decent for what the game designers intended to create. They wanted to create an MMO without really levels in class and stuff. There are skills that you can pick up which haven't been implemented into the game yet, as far as I'm aware. But later on, they're supposed to be. So there's supposed to be survival skills that you can pick up to make your character survive a little bit longer than normal. Now, right now, I'm just running through the town trying to keep a lookout for zombies and players. Players in this game are far more dangerous than the zombies. Okay? There's just zombies. I don't care. I don't care about zombies. I care about people, because people carry guns. Zombies don't. People will shoot you in the face because people are a good source for supplies. People will pick up, you know, sodas, bandages, food stuff, guns, ammunition, body armor, helmets, bigger backpacks. Zombies, they don't carry that. They don't pick that stuff up. The only thing that you can sometimes find when you kill a zombie, sometimes you can find cash. You can hear a zombie on the screen right now. He's like, they let you know when they're there. I picked up a water. If you look down in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see a little red silhouette of yourself. That's your health. Beside that, to the left of that is a fork and knife. That is your hunger bar. To the right is a thirst bar, thirst meter. Those go down over time, so you have to replenish your hunger and your thirst. If they reach the bottom and you don't have any supplies to refill it, you will slowly over time start to lose health. Now right here I got really lucky. One of the first places that I went to find stuff, I found another backpack, and it was a medium-sized backpack. So I immediately picked this up because finding backpacks is they're not integral to your survival, but the bigger the backpack, the more stuff you can hold, so you don't have to make choices on what to carry, which is it's just a big plus. So I'm gonna run over here into an area that I think is relatively safe, and then I'm gonna switch out. So go down and change backpack, select the one that you want, then change. And you can see that my inventory got a lot bigger, and then I dropped the small backpack. Now I dropped that because there is absolutely no plus to carrying a small backpack. Every character will always start with one. They're completely worthless. There's no benefit like later on. It's not like crafting where you can like break down the backpack and use it as a crafting. There's no point to having a small one, so just drop it. I'm getting chased by a zombie. I ran around this house, dropped to the prone position. You can see in the upper right hand corner there's a visibility and a hearing bar. That's how visible you are to the zombies. That's your cone of influence. Certain things that you do will increase that. If you fire a gun, it will max out your hearing cone. Any zombie that's in the range of that cone, if your cones overlap, your influence overlaps, and the zombie will be attracted to you and they will run towards you. Your option then is to either kill the zombie or you have to sprint away from him until your cone of influence is outside of theirs. Then you have to like drop into the prone position or crouch or walk, like slow down into a jog and then leave them behind. It's a little iffy right now. It's kind of strange the way it works because you can be sprinting away from a zombie, then stop sprinting, just start jogging like lightly. Turn around and look at the zombies, and you can see them. They're still running at you, but then they lose interest because they're outside of your sphere of influence. So even though you can still very clearly see the zombies, and if it was a player, they would still be able to clearly see you, the zombies stop chasing you. So it's strange, but it's fair as far as I can see. It's still pretty decent, especially when you're starting a new character and you have no weapon. If the zombies chased you like they did in DayZ, if you get chased by zombies, you're screwed. You're going to die. Now in this case, that zombie hasn't noticed me. She's not looking at me, so it's my hearing that will attract her. And as long as I'm laying down or not moving, she's not going to turn around. She's not going to notice me. Now, the zombies and stuff in this game are less glitchy than they are in DayZ. This game in general is less glitchy than DayZ is, which is another reason that I like it so much. There are some lag issues which come into play when you're using firearms. That's a bit of a negative, but it's not game breaking. It's still pretty fair. You have a decent shot against humans when you're in a firefight. Right now, bandages are used to recover a small portion of health, and then there's water, of course, which you drink to recover some thirst. Eating food and drinking certain items will recover a small portion of health. Very small portion of health. Is not comparable to bandages, painkillers, antibiotics. There are injectors too. I'm trying to think of all the different things. There are several different things that recover your health. Bandages recover a small portion. Bandage DX recovers a larger portion. Antibiotics recover an enormous amount of your health. Painkillers recover small amounts, comparable to bandages. There is a CO1U injector, which is it's a vaccine. Yeah, it's a vaccination. It recovers a good amount of health. There is a CO4U injector, which is a lot rarer, and I think it recovers full health. I think that's it for the health things. Oh, there's also med kits that you can find, and they recover huge amounts of health. I think they recover all of it. So those are pretty nice. Later on, they're supposed to implement things like DayZ does, like bleeding. You need bandages and blood packs for like bleeding out. They already have the graphics and stuff, like you can bleed out, but they haven't implemented the mechanics, so you don't recover. You don't use blood packs to recover blood. You don't use bandages or splints or med kits to recover broken bones and stuff like that. It's just not a factor in the game yet. So I'm still sneaking around in this town trying to find some sort of freaking melee weapon. I don't have one. I need one because you cannot fight zombies with your fists. I have no idea where I'm going to find one. Now, my game is going to crash here in just a little bit. Very shortly, it's going to crash. And I thought it was the game that did it, that crashed, but it wasn't. It was actually my internet. My internet shorted out because my effing cats, they love to play. They love to play on this little desk that I have outside, and I have moved my router inside of the desk so the cats can get to it, but sometimes they get to the cords, and there's nothing I can do to stop them. It pisses me off, but they're my cats. The only other option is to sell them to like a buffet or something. I don't know. I ain't gonna do that though. So they drive me crazy. But they're fluffy and they're nice, and the internet loves them. So, you know, I keep them around in case trolls ever find out where I live. I can just throw cats at them, and people will be like, "Oh shit, he's got cats." That's just like the anti-internet thing. Unless you're on 4chan, then they throw fire at your cats. It's a big mess. Anyway, what did I find? Energy drink. I think it was an energy drink. Over here, I think I find a clip, a 9mm mag. That's a magazine. For a pistol. Pistols are nice, but there's a bit of a disadvantage. Obviously, every firearm is loud, so there's a disadvantage there. It'll attract players, which is much more dangerous than attracting zombies. Also, there is a problem with... Oh, shoot, what is it? Now, this is where my game like kind of glitches out. I'm running away from the zombie and everything, and I'm like out here. And I'm turning around trying to find the zombie and stuff. Here in a second, I'll turn around and try to find it, and it won't be there. And I'll be kind of like, I'll be a little worried, and then my game will crash. Like, right here. There. So, the game crashes. Now, that was my internet. I thought it was the game. It wasn't. It was the internet. So, I'll restart. And when I jump back in the server, I'm going to be in the same spot, but I'm going to be missing some health. So, see, I'm missing a third of my health. That's where the zombie managed to beat the shit out of me while I wasn't paying attention. So, respawn right here. The zombie doesn't notice me, so I just lay down. Use a couple bandages. Boom, my health is back. And then I drink one of those to help. So, there you go. I'm okay. Now, this zombie is going to stand around for a little while, and then she's going to piss off. Now, as I was saying about firearms, there's another disadvantage, is that melee weapons are silent, and they're pretty effective at dealing with zombies. However, in your inventory, if you look at bar number 2, that's where your weapon, that's where your sidearm is. And your sidearm can either be a pistol or a melee weapon. You can't switch freely between the two of them, no matter what's on your hotbar. You can put like a hammer, a baseball bat, tactical knife, and a pistol in your hotbar. It doesn't matter. Whatever's equipped to your sidearm slot in your inventory, that is what you will select from. It'll either go to your gun or your sidearm. Your big gun is number 1, which is like a shotgun or assault rifle, something like that. That'll be in your number 1 section. Number 2 will be your sidearm. So usually I equip a melee weapon. If I'm running around in the woods, you don't run into zombies nearly as much there, so I equip my gun if I have one. But that's a disadvantage. It's a huge disadvantage, which I'm hoping they'll fix later. You can switch like other things in your hotbar, like if you have bandages in your hotbar and binoculars, you can switch between those, and then your main gun and your sidearm too. So I don't know, but right now we're in a supermarket. Supermarkets are good for finding lots of different stuff. Oh, excuse me. There are a lot of things that will spawn in a supermarket. This includes backpacks. Large backpacks or medium backpacks will spawn there. You can find different types of helmets, which don't offer any real buff. They're just, like in Team Fortress 2, they're just there for vanity. You can find painkillers, antibiotics, foods, drinks, which is the big reason why people like to go into supermarkets. Sometimes you can find pistols, and sometimes you can find weapons. They're a lot rarer. If you do find a weapon, it's typically the Mossberg 590 shotgun, which is just a basic pump action shotgun. It doesn't have a really fast fire rate. It's got a slow reload time. It holds 8 bullets in the chamber. It's okay. It's a decent weapon for close range. It'll take people out, which is all you really worry about. But it's not the best weapon in the game by any means. And it's fairly common as far as firearms are. It's a pretty common firearm to run into. You can run into it in several different places. So, I've attracted a zombie inside the house. There he is. I have to sprint to get away from him. I'm gonna attract every other zombie in the fucking world. Excuse me, I'm eating some antacids. I got like some heartburn shit. I dropped a prone to hopefully lose a zombie. That one loses interest. The other one's like, no. And he just smacks me, so I get up and I sprint away again. He was supposed to lose interest, but he didn't, because he's a douche. So I'm leaving the city. I'm just like, alright, forget this place. Now you can see I started to slow down. I went from sprint to jog. I'm outside of his cone of influence, so he's going to lose. That one back there lost interest. This one does not. He is a pisser, and he wants my brains. Like, just straight up. I sprint away a little bit more, and I turn around again. And he has lost interest, so I don't even know where he is. But I decided to go back down into the city to see if there's anything else that I missed. I think I'm going to stop. I'm going to jump here a little bit. I've got more recording, so I could just go uninterrupted. But I'm going to jump forward to the area where I find my first melee weapon, and then talk about the melee weapons and stuff, and then show you what it's like. So I'm going to pause here for just a second. Okay. Instead of where I found my first melee weapon, I decided to skip up here because there was something that I noticed. Up here is the Delta Park Ranger Station. Delta Peak Ranger Station? I forget. I'm not looking at the map right now, and I haven't memorized every single name of every single place that you can run into. Basically, this is the ranger station. You can see here the military setup camp. I remember this because I run into a player here, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh god, a player, when he first shows up, but turns out it's not as big as I thought it was going to be. As big a deal. Now right here you can see me sneaking around. I got binoculars. I found binoculars in a cave, or no, not a cave. I found it in just somewhere. One of the stores or something. That dude was just walking over here. He's not going to see me because I'm prone, so I just stopped moving. Boom. He walks away. Now this is where I'm just prone. I'm just stuck here. I don't want to move. And then I noticed a bunch of zombies are running, and I'm like, what are they running? See, that dude is crouching over. He is in trouble. He's jumping over cars and stuff. He's trying to get out of there. I have been in his position. If you are crouched over and bleeding like that, he most likely spawns somewhere nearby. So he jumps on the... He jumps up there. He jumps on the fence, and I guess he's gonna try to make a break for it. So I go over here to try to see like what's up, what he does. I can see. I lost track of him, but there he is. He's over there to the left. I can see him. He makes it there, and then he dies. So he's dead. His body will disappear here in a second. Whenever he quits, he logs out. Now I thought for a second that he might have had something. Turns out he didn't. So, yeah, hold on. Gotta move this back into position real quick. There we go. Had to move the recordings back into position because I cut a little bit of stuff out so that this recording wouldn't be 16 million hours long. So I decided to go into the Delta Park Ranger Station. Now, the Ranger Station is a big deal because it's a police station, and police stations are located all over the place, and they have a chance of, there's a chance that you can find weapons in here. Now, I found a bag MRE and some stuff. I thought that maybe he had dropped some things to pick something else up, so I was thinking that he might have had a weapon on his person, but that he got overwhelmed by too many zombies. He could have found a gun and not been able to use it. Or he might have just found, I don't know, a melee weapon and there were just too many zombies. So I decide, you know, I'm going to go ahead and search around in here, and then I'm going to go try to get to his corpse to see if he has anything. And it turns out he doesn't, and there's another 9mm mag, which I still don't have a 9mm. But I was very hopeful that I was going to find a weapon here. Now, I think here in a second, some of you with a trained eye may be able... Oh, hold on. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, shit. That's how I sneeze. Some of you with a trained eye may see the weapon. I'm going to maximize my screen right here so I can see. No, I see can. Now, see... Oh, okay. Okay. Later on, I found a weapon, and I found it right here, and I thought that I was just stupid and walked past it like a complete retard. But no. If you're in sections like this, a lot of the times you'll see hats. This place will be littered with hats. There'll just be hats as far as the eye can see. If you find a place like this, and you see a million hats, just pick the hats up and drop them. Just pick them up, walk a few steps, drop them on the ground. If you do that, then it counts as them being moved, and the items don't really cycle over time. Or if they do, which they might actually do that, but if they do, they cycle over a very, very large amount of time. So if you go into an area like this, it'll take about 30 minutes for every item that you picked up to respawn a new item. So if you see a bunch of hats, just pick the hats up. That's a can of ham. I can't get to it, but I want it. But if you see a bunch of items like this, like hats and stuff all over the place, pick the hats up, then drop them. 30 minutes later, you can come back, or maybe not even that long, but I think it's 30 minutes, which flies by really quickly in the game. Trust me. You can come back, and then all the stuff will be gone. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So I found that hat. I didn't have a hat, and I was just like, all right, forget it. It's right there. I'll pick it up. So I picked that up, and then later on when we come back here, we will find a weapon in that area. I haven't watched the footage yet, so I thought that, like I said, I thought it was just retarded. That in the corner right there, you can see a Halloween zombie that were added in the patch a few days ago for Halloween. I bought a few pumpkin heads to wear myself, but I don't use them because, good God, they stand out like a sore thumb. They're fun to have. they're just fun to have. So anyway, again, this game is really, really addicting. There's a lot of elements in it that you learn over time. Like, either you won't learn unless people tell you, or unless you're just really observant, and sometimes it's difficult. For me, I learned over time because I played this game for like days. I've had it for a week, and I've played it for like literally 30-something hours over having it for a week. So it's really addicting for me, which I guess is the same way everyone felt when they started playing DayZ. But for me, I've seen DayZ footage, and this game is just a lot less glitchy. It's more functional. It hasn't implemented as many things into it as DayZ has, but it doesn't have as many of the problems that DayZ does either. It's an actual full game with a full development team working on it. So I'm having a lot of fun. Now a zombie runs in. I don't freak out. I knew a zombie had seen me, but then he loses track of me because he has to run out of my cone of influence, and I ran back, jogged. So I managed to escape, which was lucky. Now I decided to get out of here because there's nothing else around. I know that I can't get to where that guy died. His stuff will stay there for a little while, but not a super long time. So I decided it's best for me to just exit the police station, to come back later. Right now, there's nothing. There's nothing for me here. I don't have any weapons. I can't defend myself. And if I go any further in, the chances of being spotted by one zombie and dying like that other dude did is very high. The only reason that I hadn't ran into a million zombies at that point is because that dude had ran through the entire area and literally collected every loose zombie to where there were only a handful that I had to dodge. So I was lucky. Also I found some ammunition for an automatic assault shotgun, which I actually have 2 of those in my global inventory, but I wanted to start off with a brand new character just to show you guys how to survive from the very beginning. So I'm going to pause and skip ahead to another area that I discover where I find my first melee weapon. So we're just going to skip real quick, and I will BRB.